What is going on, guys? This is going to be the first episode of the bootcamp I'm making. And if you're looking at this chart, some of you guys might have not a single clue what's going on. And don't worry, I was there once too. And I'm literally going to be explaining the basics of the most basics. And I'm going to get a little advanced by the end of the course, but mainly my YouTube and everything else I do is going to be the advanced stuff. But this is going to be a course for mostly beginners. All right. Now, starting off, I'm going to tell you what I did when I started to learn and what not to do. Okay. And take this, don't take this with a grain of salt. Okay. Take this seriously because I've been trading, I think, almost 5 years now. And I'm a 21-year-old kid. And you know what they say? The younger kids learning this stuff are actually can be very smart. Like the way I learn is very smart. Okay. A lot of the older people nowadays, I mean, they just don't know how to learn stuff. Um, and they have an old traditional like way of learning that does not help with trading, in my opinion. And I have seen it firsthand, and it just does not work. Okay. So I would really strongly suggest listening to what I say, because I really know what I'm doing, and I'm not trying to brag, but I'm really good at this, okay? And I really want to help you guys. So, and hey, and I'm bored, so I thought I'd make this just because it'd be like a good thing to maybe send to like my friends or whatever. So yeah, if you don't know what this chart is, okay, these are a bunch of candlesticks, all right? And you probably have seen a chart like this before, and you're probably like, oh, this is really advanced. And I'm going to be going over candlesticks next episode, but I just want to kind of make this a little more of a talking video, kind of where what you should not and what you should do. You're probably, I mean, this is much easier to read because you can clearly see kind of these dumps or these drops and then these peaks. Again, this is much easier to read than the candlestick chart, but it will not tell you as much information as a candlestick chart. I remember the first time I tried starting the trade, I'd use these line charts because I'm like, oh, this is much easier than using a candlestick chart. But let me first tip of the day is, or first tip of this course is, you need to use a candlestick chart because these little bodies right here. Okay, see how we have these little wicks here? So again, these are wicks, and then these are the bodies. Okay, it's very self-explanatory, right? This black thing and this red and this green thing, these are called bodies. And starting off, you will get nowhere if you cannot understand the bodies. The bodies tell you everything, and you're going to understand this later. Okay, bodies tell the story, wicks do the damage. It's one of the quotes I live by, and you need to know and understand these bodies and how candlesticks work, which I'll go over in the next video. So, if you're very new in the trading, right, you're probably wondering. You're probably seeing a chart on Google. It probably looks like this. Let me pull something up real quick, and I just don't want to give you guys the wrong idea. So let me pull this up. So you've probably seen a chart that looks like this. Okay. Let me see if we can pull this up a little bigger. And I totally get it because this is what I thought of trading too when I first started. So I'd see this giant chart, and people would have all these like lines and just these whatever was on the chart. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And basically what these are called are indicators. And here's what not to do. Okay. Do not use a million indicators. So my logic going into trading was this. Okay, here's exactly what I thought. All right, what I thought was the day discovered indicators, right? And for example, I'll put like a 9 EMA, which is basically moving average or something. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So this is basically just a moving average. Now, this is really ugly, and I don't know how people are supposed to read that. I think this will be cleaner. So here's just a simple moving average. So basically what this indicator does, it just tells you the average of the last 9 candles because the length is on 9. Okay, so basically the average of the past 9 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It tells you basically the average of them. Now, how does that help? it helps to identify a trend, but in reality, it doesn't help you enter a trade, in my opinion, because you can see price just, even on the line chart. Okay, look at this. Price just goes under it, then above it, then under it, then above it. How is that supposed to help you? It's not. And my idea of trading when I first started and learning these indicators one day, I'm like, wait a minute. If we have all these indicators and I use 5 indicators at one time and they all give me the same buy or sell signal, I'm going to be really good at trading. And then I was like, wait a minute. What if I use 100 and all of them gave me the same signal? I would never lose. And that was my logic going in. Okay, don't ask me why. It sounds very, very silly. But I was like, oh, I bet you if I use a million indicators, like there's literally buy and sell signal bots. So let me see if I can find. Look, like right here. There's literally signal like bots where it tells you where to buy and sell. But they're awful. They're awful. Do not use these. Okay, I know they sound appealing, but these will teach you nothing and they're awful. They don't teach you how to manage risk. They don't teach you how to trade. They teach you how to be a robot and lose. Right? I'm going to say that again. They do not teach you how to trade. And that was one of the misconceptions I had when I first started. I'm like, oh, these signals, these indicators are going to be great. But here's a problem. All of this is technical. Trading is not as technical as you think. Trading is a battle of emotions and battle of, okay, I need to hold this trade till here, or I need to cut my loss here. That's what trading is. Trading is not looking at all this stuff. This is I would not recommend using indicators. Okay. I'm going to go over some indicators because this is a basics course, but I want you to understand the indicators I go over just so you kind of understand. Like, I guarantee you'll join a Discord chat and someone will make fun of a bull flag or make fun of the EMA or make fun of VWAP and they'll be like, what's that? So I am going to teach indicators in this course, but I want to say that you should not be using them because they do not teach you how to trade. And 2 years in, I thought I knew everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. I know how to trade. This is awesome. Like, I'm really good. Literally just today, I took a trade and it was a mental battle. I'll show you guys the trade I took. It was this morning. Okay, basically I took a buy. So I took a buy route right here where this circle is. And my stop loss was around here. And it was very, very, very close to hitting. And I had to hold through all of these candles. I had to hold for 10 minutes through these candles doing nothing and chopping around. How do you think that makes me feel emotionally? It's very, very tough. Okay, very tough. That's what trading is. Trading isn't, oh, I see a buy signal here and I'm going to sell when it gets up here. Because what don't you take into account? You don't take into account you holding the trade for 10 minutes and seeing yourself in profit and seeing yourself in red, seeing yourself in green, being excited, being mad you're in red. Like, you don't account for all that. And that's why a buy and sell signal is not going to do anything. You could get like the biggest buy signal in the world right here at this little circle. And it could be like, oh, go long here, buy here. Okay, or you could get the buy signal, let's say right here. But look at all this. Look at all this crap you have to hold through. That is what real trading is, and you're going to have to understand how to avoid this, how to avoid holding through this, how to avoid not taking a trade when this is going to happen. Okay, you're going to have to understand conviction, how to build confidence, how to hold the trade maybe when this does happen, but you're still confident. That's what trading is. It's not buy and sell signals. An indicator will not help you, and that's literally the flaw of an indicator. And that's what I always didn't understand. I always thought like, oh, buy signal would help because it'll tell me to buy here, right? And it'll tell me to sell here, right? But man, when you're watching your P&L and the points and everything in this little pump right here and this little dump, it is very, very hard emotionally. And this is, I'm telling you, you need to understand this episode if you want to be profitable, because if you don't understand this video and what I'm saying and what I'm saying not to do, you'll not understand trading. I do not want you to go be like, oh my God, there's amazing, amazing buy and sell signals out there. That's not going to help you. I promise you. I tried it 50 million times. I always thought it would be like, oh, I don't even have to learn trading. I could just use these indicators that tell me when to buy and sell. And people will try to sell you indicators that tell you when to buy and sell. They're not profitable. Only you can make yourself profitable. Okay, these cannot make you profitable. Even the best trading bots in the world, they'll work for like a year and then they just stop working. I don't understand, but that's what happens. So that's kind of my little story for this video. And I actually started with using market structure. So I'm going to be going over market structure in the next video. Okay. But I started with just using market structure only, identifying trends. Okay. So like a trend might be something like this. Okay. This is just a clear trend. It's a clear uptrend because we're making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. So it's a very clear uptrend, right? And that's how I started learning how to trade. And then I remember one day I watched a YouTube video. I'm like, oh my God, this indicator, there's an indicator. I think it was like the MACD or something. I'm like, oh, I got an indicator now. I don't even need to look at the trend. I don't even need to look at the candlesticks. I can just use this. Let me zoom in for a second. How is this supposed to help you? Look at how fast it switches. How is that supposed to help you? And the second thing is this. It is all lagging. Okay, what do I mean by that? If I draw a vertical line here, right, it's all lagging. If I draw a vertical line here, okay, look. By the time this full green plays out, we've already got the pump. So what people might do is they might think, oh, it's all green. It's going to keep being green. And then they buy, and then we dump. All right, now look at it. Look at another example here. All right, I just want to show you guys something. Oh, the market's supposed to go from red to green, and then we know it's going to go back to red again, right? Right, guys? So we had this really red trend here, right, where the market fell or went down, and now we have this green, and now it's kind of descending again. So what should happen? We should get more red. So I'm going to short again. I'm going to take a sell signal here. I'm going to sell, right? Oh no, why are we going back up? Oh, red. Why are we going back up? Do you see what I mean? They're all lagging, and they literally are telling you what price is telling you live time. You do not need to see this in order to see what price is telling you. And that was another thing I didn't understand about indicators. And I didn't understand. So what happened was I actually started with price action alone. And what I do is I'd be like, in order to identify an uptrend, what I do is we kind of break this high, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to get on the next retrace, or I'm going to get in on the high break or whatever, because I was like, oh, we're in an uptrend. So I'm going to buy here. And that's what I used to do. And honestly, I was better at that. And then one day I saw a YouTube video. It was like, it's called "This Indicator Will Get You an 80% Win Rate." And 90% of you watching this are going to fall into that trap at some point. I did. And I don't want you to fall into that trap. But it's like, oh, this indicator will get you a 90% win rate. Don't follow for those videos, please. No indicator is going to do that. Your trading could do that, but no indicator is going to do that. And then I started adding 50 million indicators, and I started typing in all this stuff here. I used to go to like tech. I just used to add so much stuff, and I'm like, oh, if I add 10 in a row and they're all giving me the same signal, I don't even need to look at price action. And I got worse doing that. Okay, I got worse, and it was kind of here's me with no indicators. Here's me with indicators. I was losing a lot of money. And then here's me now. So I kind of started pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, because I was kind of reading the trend, and following the trend and playing the trend is very easy. But then when I started getting indicators, it was too much noise. There was just too much stuff in my chart, right? If I pull up that chart that looks like this, there's just too much stuff. It's not going to help you. Okay, way too many confluences. All right, you're going to get lost. It's not going to help you, and this is what I'm trying to have you guys avoid. But I will still go over indicators, and a few of the indicators you should know about before you kind of get into trading just naked price action. Anyways, don't use indicators. You should know about them, but they're going to overcomplicate stuff for you. And again, I think my story is really good because most people, they think indicators are going to make you go like this. And they think they're all set. But indicators in general, for a lot of people, overcomplicate it. And I don't think they're smart to use. And they've never made me profitable. Most people or most trading books you've read, they say to use indicators, which is why 90% of traders fail, because indicators are lagging. They're literally telling you what you can see on the live chart as a candles form. And yeah, I just would not suggest using them. So this is going to conclude the first episode. I really just want to make you guys understand who I am and how I kind of started and what not to do. Test out indicators, but do not get used to them, because if you don't listen to me, you will give up eventually, because indicators will steer you wrong. Okay. They will steer you wrong, and that's all I got. If you don't listen to me, have fun and good luck working McDonald's the rest of your life. But I'm just trying to be straight up with you guys. Indicators are going to, you're like, I guarantee you, some people take one win and like, oh my God, this indicator is insane. Oh, then they lose the next 3 trades because the indicator just doesn't help. So it's like the 9 EMA. The moving average will work some days, and then other days it won't work. And there's something called VWAP, which I'll go over in another video. Now watch this. See how VWAP really rejects here? See how price rejects it? But then here we kind of go above it, then reject. Okay, that's not the greatest example. Let me go right here. So right here, see how price bounces off it perfectly, bounces off perfectly, bounces off perfectly. See these 3 scenarios? But then right here, does not bounce off perfectly. Imagine how many people were like, oh, we bounce off here, 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 here. And they take this, and they're like, oh my God, I got wrecked. Okay, so yeah, it might work a few times, but it's not going to help you in the long run. It's not going to tell you where price is going to go. And it's going to feel like an accident of you winning the trade. Why does it feel like an accident? Because you're just guessing price is going to bounce off here. You don't know what's to the left. You don't know where the liquidity is. You don't know how the market's going to move. You're just literally basing it off these random lines where hedge funds and these bank institutions, these algorithms do not care about at all. And when you win a trade, it feels like luck. And I hope by the end of this boot camp, okay, I hope by the end, I hope you go from taking a trade that feels like luck and it's like, oh my God, we just bounced off VWAP. We just bounced off the support line. I hope you go from thinking your trades were all luck to, oh my God, I knew this trade was going to work. I knew why it was going to work. I knew how to enter. I knew where to enter. Like, this is not luck. I want you to have that mindset by the end of this boot camp, because that's literally the feeling that I went from when I started ICT. Every trade felt like lucky to me, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm just buying a random line in the market that the algorithms don't even care about. The first time I ever took a fair value gap trade, or which I'll teach fair value gaps eventually, but the first time I ever took like a fair value gap trade, I'm like here, for example, let's say short this. It's like, oh my God, I knew we were going to reject that little box, and I knew the market had to go to this low. Like, that was not luck. It's something I've learned. You cannot get that feeling using a line on the chart. You cannot get that feeling using a random ass line. Trust me. Okay. All right, if I pull up VWAP again, you will just not get that feeling using this. This is all randomness. Okay. Not using any indicators and watching price action, that is not random. Algorithms are hunting stop losses, and that's what I'm going to build up to and build this course up to. So that's it for the first episode. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And I will see you guys later. Peace.